via mixlr.com/gistfm.
Ladies and gentlemen, tighten your seatbelt as we take you on this smooth ride. It's the morning drive on 103.
Okay, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hit the subscribe button right here. Check this out. It's on Amazon.com. Hip Hop and Igbo Culture by yours faithfully, Martin Fine Smekeze. You can also pick it up at St. Teresa's Catholic Church, Omonia, also here at Ebon at the 103.5 FM. So check it out, all right? Stick around for newspaper headlines.
From 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
On the morning drive.
103.5 FM.
Good morning and welcome to Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Today, the 26th day of April 2024. Today is Friday and the time is a minute past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories, making the headlines. Please stay with us.
The National Broadcasting Commission states any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of the broadcast or the conduct of the broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 3, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asoko, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng of the program, date and time of broadcast, and address of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, phone number, email, and append your signature. Within 14 days of the query broadcast, and the state your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on The Guardian, Leadership, Vanguard, Punch, Daily Post, The Nation. This day, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at Nigerian Tribune newspapers. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080 96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Complicit negligence, how weak power lines, vandalism worsened electrocution incidents. Court adjourns MFLA's trial to June 24th as US indicts government. Continued importation disrupts fuel supply amid local refineries. Federal government, states move to deepen economic, financial inclusion. You lied. Rivers government tells a resigned Wike's loyalist. MTN faces shareholders backlash over USD indexed Delta policies. Lawyer clarifies alleged 150 million naira bribery allegation against police officer. Judge summons Lagos Correctional Center boss over refusal to appear in court. Oyo Monarch challenges removal at appeal court. Lagos seals Oniru market over environmental infraction. Controversy over death of female police student. CAA invites applications for CAAF 24 deal room. CBN licenses unified payments as a second provider for PTSA services for Nigeria. Abba Agog as Pastor Kumi starts 5-day global crusade. Dana Air refunds passengers as NCAA announces suspension. Abiodun appoints Tunde Onakoya, sports ambassador. Teenager electrocuted. Mue market disaster. NPAN commiserates with Ebu over wife's death. MPAN commiserates with Ebu over wife's death. Labour decries non-completion of minimum wage negotiations. Girls in ICT Day. ITU laments gender gap, advocates STEM. Police detain officers involved in Ogbomosho students' death. ACPN money point to explore digital financial inclusion. ACPN money point to explore digital financial inclusion. Nigeria's election marred by suppression, vote buying, violence. US report. Nimet boss Anosike host AGRHYMETDG. PDP unveils campaign council for 2024 Edo governorship election. Kanu governor mourns Fazu Bafa Yola. Edo residents shower communions on Tinubu Akpakomiza over Benin Aushi Okene road repairs. Rep Abejide Rise Nema seeks support for Kogi rainstorm victims. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper this morning. NMPC African refinery signed historic co-location deal to boost refining capacity. Sanwo-Olu did not increase the minimum wage to 70,000 naira. Commissioner. Cost of tightness in fuel supply resolved. NMPC. Ondo election. Akeredoru's ex-deputy Ajayi emerges PDP candidate. 419 training schools recruiting primary schools pupils. EFCC boss. Oil theft. Ogala extends duration of Operation Delta Sanity by 90 days. Ondo election. Ganduje begs aggrieved APC aspirants to support Ayedatiwa. Jonathan inaugurates Akwa Ibom flood control tunnel. Applause Governor Eno. Police parade 28 suspects for criminal offenses in Taraba. Lagos shut down 12 private schools for safety concerns illegal operations. Lagos shuts down 12 private schools for safety concerns illegal operations. Senator Ayogu Eze is dead. Dana Air to process reforms after NCAA suspension. How we reduced road traffic crashes by 42%. Call Marshal. One dead in Oyo nightclub shooting. Officers involved in detention. Police. 118 inmates escape Suleja prison after heavy rain destroys fence. Passenger dies on Ogbomosho Ilorin Expressway after bus breakdown. Nigerian woman breaks world record for marathon interview. Gunmen kill APC chairman in Castena local government. One order. How detection of faulty gear averted air crash moments before takeoff in Lagos. Abba. Fire incident disrupts flights as FAAN shot E-wing at Lagos. As FAAN shot E-wing at Lagos Airport. EFCC withdraws appeal against order restraining Yahaya Bello's arrest. Tinubu Akpabio pledge justice sector reforms. Zulum urges establishment of military bases in Sambisa Forest. Mandara Hills. Ruby tax rich Nigerians on water. Education crisis. Kaduna Assembly begins a probe of Air Rufai's administration. Reps summon Kiari, threaten to sanction oil companies. I won't support candidates above 52 years in 2027 Dubai poll. Makinde tells PDP aspirants. That's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. From the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to the leadership newspaper this morning. It's Facing Nation. How ex-HOSF Oyo Eta others looted public funds. Witness tells court. Federal government to audit all local airlines. Federal government calls for expression of interest in $10 billion Nigerian Diaspora Fund. Another fire incident averted at Wuse Market. KB distributes uniforms, bags to intending pilgrims. Kanu Speaker named Chief Fire Safety Ambassador. Kanu Speaker named Chief Fire Safety Ambassador. Sanwo-Olu spends 4.2 billion naira on WAEC fees in 5 years. Makinde reabsorbs 129 floating staff into civil service. Ekiti agro marshals to guard farmlands, schools, palaces. Ojudu moves against malaria in southwest. Odeyemi charges alumni on developing alma mater. Lagos government firm to showcase tourism potential. NCAA to audit all local airlines. Kiamo, Senator Ayogo Eze dies at 65. World Malaria Day. 180 million Nigerians are protected. USAID. Local government poll. Makinde declares today. Half working day. CITN inducts 605 tax members on reform. Federal government threatens to revoke Abuja-Lokoja Benin road contracts. Federal government losing huge revenue to saboteurs at Kano FTZ, says experts. Ohaneze Ndigbo sues for peace between Wike, Fubara. Governor Mufwang urges Nigerian-US collaboration against insecurity. Care for the poor, Obi urges wealthy Nigerians. Akeredoru's ex-finance commissioner, Akinterenwa, honors EFCC's invite. Tinubu, CMPF tackles Marafa over attack on Matawale. Stalemate over PDP Rivers Caretaker Committee sparks fresh concern. Akume remains my leader, mentor, Autumn declares. Akpabio says Eno is uniting Akwa Ibom across party lines. Akpabio. Niger PDP local government chairman endorsed Bumi for national share. 10th Obeke 10-kilometer race. High expectations as organizers begin 30-day countdown. Premium Trust Bank champions athlete empowerment with Abuja City Half Marathon. Imo FA begins 2024 league registration. Nigeria wins ICC Continental Award with a PWC Under-17 initiative. Australia coach Ragnick confirms talks with Bayern Munich. Nigeria repositioning economy to attract more Dutch investment. Tinubu, no tolerance for discrimination by businesses against Nigerians. FCCPC, Naira value dips 12% in 4 days as turnover rises. Dangote Cement grows sales as volume rises by 26.1% to 4.6 metric ton in Q1. Seplat wins Energy Times Corporate Governance Firm of the Year. NAMA Mo's review of navigational charges laments air traffic controllers' absence. That's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. From the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to Vanguard newspaper. Boko Haram sacks military camp in Niger. Bandits attack emir in Zamfara. Muslims on parties in turmoil. Recharging the fight against malaria. When Nigeria went on trial. A walk in Abuja amongst Spanish speakers. Africa's poverty plague. Police nabbed 3 suspected bandits supplying arms to terrorists in Niger, Zamfara, Katsina. Cultism, 34 persons killed in 3 weeks in Oka, Anambra lawmaker. Some vested interests created Oshodi Apapa gridlock. Hassan, tax force chairman, Labour Party, PDP, kick as US report says 2023 poll reflected Nigeria's will. New minimum wage won't be ready in April. Labour. Sit up or resign to save a party from collapse. Clark writes PDP acting national chair. Former Deputy Governor Ajayi Abula wins Ondo PDP primary. Ondo governorship primary. Businessman Akinodi emerges ADP candidate. PDP primary. 627 delegates set to elect party's flag bearer today. Ondo PDP primary. Delegates accreditation concluded. Voting begins. Infractions. Lagos government threatens to shut Ilebeju exclusive school for Indians. Bandits attack palace in Zamfara. Emir weeks away. Mother, son, one other electrocuted in Ogun. Residents flee as Boko Haram invade military base in Niger community. Senator Ayogu Eze is dead. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, Aviation Minister suspends operations of Dana Airline amid safety concerns. Lead British school. Namtira Buara sues bullies, give ultimatum for sanction. UK University offers £33,000 scholarship, £4,000 flight allowances to Nigerians. Others. Shareholders approve $1.5 billion capital raising for Access Holdings. MRS slashes diesel price to 1,050 naira per litre. Dangote Cement records 26% rise in sales volume. 5.2 trillion naira debt. Federal government recovers 57 billion naira from 10 ministries, departments, agencies. And that's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. Or you join us on Facebook as we are live at Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. Ibadan, Mogajis pledge allegiance to Olubadan designate. Senate panel 6 extension of 30 trillion naira loans probe. NMPC blames logistics for worsening fuel queues. Mother electrocuted, 2 children hospitalized in Ogun market. Dollar demands pushes. Dollar demand pushes naira to 1,420 naira per dollar. Federal government may relocate jails as 105 inmates flee Niger prison. Forex, MTN, Glo, others seek NCC nod for tariff hike. Lagos state government pays 1.5 billion naira WAEC fees for 58,000 students. Death bloodbath. Villagers shun reps hearing over fear of arrest. Nigeria needs good tax system to attract foreign investment. CITN. MPAN condones with Ray Ibu over wife's death. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Punch newspaper this morning. 2 brothers nabbed for alleged gang rape in Ogun. 3 suspected pipeline vandals caught in Edo. Lasma. Viju officials clash, leaves 10 injured. Lasma. Viju officials clash, leaves 10 injured. Pupils die while feeding in Abuja school. Ogun Poli denies negligence in pregnant students' death. Federal governments must sustain moves to stabilize Naira. Nigeria needs good tax system. We've taken this. Dangote, forest shortage delays crude supplies. APC governorship primary held in Ondo State. Ayedatiwa insists. Alleged 80 billion naira fraud court order. Obey court order now. Kogi Assembly tells EFCC. Alleged 80 billion naira fraud. Obey court order now. Kogi Assembly tells EFCC. Ogun PDP chairman Adebutu trade blame over electoral defeat. That's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to the Daily Post newspaper. Air peace to begin Abuja London flights. Insecurity, bandits, Salah celebration rattles Nigerians. Abola, Ajayi wins Ondo PDP primary. Lagos workers earning 70,000 naira minimum wage since January. Sanwo-Olu, Senator Ayogu Eze is dead. How SRV Grid is providing affordable renewable energy solutions for Nigerians. Sports betting and responsible gaming. Know your limits. Ego predicts, educates bettors. MTN Nigeria account returns to SO and U. Ex-lawmaker Alhaji Sidi Ali is dead. Assistant Controller of Correctional Facility Mina abducted by gunmen in Niger. Insecurity. Ebonyi government donates operational vehicles to police, army. Prices of fuel not changing. NMPCL is plain reason for scarcity. NCC marks 2024 International Girls in ICT Day. Guba poll. Edo PDP unveils over 200 members. Abiodun appoints Tunde Onakoya, sports ambassador. Abola Ajayi wins Ondo PDP primary. APC National Working Committee holds a peace meeting with aggrieved Ondo governorship aspirants. Ondo Guba. PDP begins accreditation of 627 delegates as a primaries commence. One chance robbers. Umuahia. Fire raises 4 shops in Edo. Militias kill 2 in Taraba community. Police rescue 3. Kill 8 bandits in Bauchi. Nigerian Navy impounds illicit drugs and nabbed 3 suspects in Akwa Ibom. Police parade 28 suspected criminals in Taraba. And that's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. From the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. Engineering firm unveils new equipment. Others. Monarchs hail Inspector General of Police for security boost. Confirm to focus on global collaboration. Aid leads campaign to eradicate malaria. HTL, Samsung, marks years of innovation. Philanthropists donate books to students. Lagos HOS assures workers of prompt payment of entitlements. FEM empowers 228 community women. Suji Moto, Plateau, launch 30,000 hectare rice farm to aid food security. Suji Moto, Plateau, launched 30,000 hectare rice farm to aid food security. Police to probe death of transporter. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Okuama, reps panel promises in-depth probe. Justice. JAMB again extends direct entry registration. Alleged procurement fraud. Court adjourns Emefiele's case till June 24th. Experts decry Nigeria's 27% malaria global rate contribution. Court dismisses suit seeking to reverse appointment of Musawa as minister. Federal government moves to restructure school feeding program. Federal government orders manhunt for 109 Suleja escapees. TUC demands a payment of February, March wage award. Edo PDP unveils campaign council for governorship poll. Naira abuse. Banks, not money sprayers. Your headache. Lawyer tells EFCC. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning. From the Nation newspaper, we'll flip over to This Day newspaper. NMPC signs deal to build another 100,000 barrel per day refining plant within Port Harcourt refinery. Naira weakens further to 1,309 naira at official window, plunges to 1,450 naira at apparel market. Kuka slams Nigerian universities, says they are promoting ethnic, religious biases. For more on this story, Kuka slams Nigerian universities, says they are promoting ethnic, religious biases. Bishop of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Matthew Kuka, has slammed universities in Nigeria, saying they were increasingly promoting ethnic and religious biases. Kuka stated this in an interview. The cleric slammed what he described as a worrying trend of declining diversity and meritocracy in Nigerian universities, particularly in North Nigeria. A mosque was constructed at the University of Nigeria in Soka. I delivered a convocation lecture in Calabar 3 weeks ago. After my lecture, the chief imam of the university came to congratulate me. But as I speak to you, Osman Danfodio, who is over 40 years old, Bayero University, and other universities in northern Nigeria have decided to close their doors to the possibility of churches being built in the universities across the country. All this fanaticism we are seeing is expressed in public life. If students in the university or at some point of their growing up are not allowed to integrate and interrelate, and if churches or mosques cannot be built across the country, then there is a problem, he said. For more on that story, please get yourself a copy of This Day newspaper. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning, and we are on to This Day newspaper. Fagbemi, judges, lawyers, others eulogize late Justice Oji Abadua at a special session. Despite suspension of operations in 2022, documents show Dana Air's challenges unresolved. Court war, lawmaker convenes a security summit, says 34 killed in 3 weeks. New York's appeal court overturns Harvey Weinstein's rape conviction. Malaria, EMZO to build $23 million API facility in Ogun. Blackouts, AUN chiefs exams, halts academic activities over students' protest. Still on the stories making the headlines on This Day newspaper this morning. Abeyawa Farms launches Community Development Foundation. LCCI decries a mining sector's contribution to GDP. 6 NIOMCO Ajokuta revival. Fidelity Bank celebrates air peace. Commence Onyama. Fidelity Bank celebrates air peace. Commence Onyama. Ethiopian Airlines launches new service to Warsaw. And that's the much we can take from This Day newspaper. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. When I go for a short break, when we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
If you know your history, then you will know where you are coming from. And in whatever you do, seek wisdom. Knowledge is power. Inugo Maka the book, Hip Hop and Igbo Culture, authored by Martin Ifeanyichukwu Ekezie, example the first. Metal of Ebona, the 103.5 FM. There is a great insight in hip hop and Igbo culture. You can get this book or pick it up at a bookshop in St. Teresa's Catholic Church, Omonina, or at Ebona, the 103.5 FM Ogidi. You can also get this book at the Catechist office in St. Michael's Catholic Church, Abacha, or you go to www.amazon.com, search for Hip Hop and Igbo Culture by Martin Ifeanyichukwu Ekezie. For further information on how to get this book, please call 080-3916-7049 or you WhatsApp 080-6579-6599.
Galilee Christ Assembly Mission Ogidi on their weekly activities for your undiluted word of God, deliverance, and unlimited blessings. Every Tuesday, prophetic service and deliverance, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Every Thursday, counseling, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Every Friday, night of vengeance, 9 p.m. till dawn. Venue, permanent site, former Bunzo bus stop, Edoma Estate, Ogidi. Phone 0806 797 3760 or 0813 699 4615. For Asaba branch, every Monday is counseling 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Wednesdays, prophetic service and deliverance 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sundays, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Venue number 5, Andy Oko Street, Bonsac, behind the Seat of Wisdom School, Asaba. Phone 0806 595 2899. Host Mommy Blessing, aka Anyugo, the General Overseer. Come and experience the light of God.
Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Ebonade 103.5 FM. It's Martin Ifeanyi Chukwu is here every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebonade 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a date. How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebonade FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be.
Our government, whatever.
Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community. Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifeanyi Chukwu, as our number the first every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebonade 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds
In your face.
on Ebonade corner
24/7. 24/7.
Thank God it's Friday. Friday, the most favorable day of the week. So hook up with DJ Easy every Friday by 9 p.m. on Ebonade 103.5 FM. This is a program where we bring unto you entertainment and the best of fun, and also give you the privilege to make some music requests. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Don't miss this every Friday night by 9 p.m. with DJ Easy on Ebonade 103.5 FM of the
ezinụlọ bụ ọdịmma obodo. Onye doziri ezinụlọ edozigo obodo. Family is the foundation of the society. Na ọdịmma ezinụlọ n'ebe ọ na-adị 103.5 FM bụ ebe anyị ga na-etinye anya n'okwu gbasara ezinụlọ.
Papa, mama na ụmụaka maka ịmata ihe gbasara ezinụlọ sonyere Classic Lady.
Efu emenarị Classic Lady
Ebonade 103.5
FM n'oge ọdịmma ezinụlọ. Canada bịara gị every Tuesday na Friday 3 to 4 p.m.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we are live at Airborne at the 103.5 FM. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gist.fm. We are on to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Rising cases of cable theft. Stakeholders recommend increase in health insurance funding. Tinubu calls for beneficial partnership with Netherlands. World Malaria Day. Avoid self-medication. It is dangerous. Oti warns. Chess master Tunde Onakoya appointed as a sports ambassador in Ogun. Nigeria well positioned to power Europe's future clean energy. Tinubu tells Dutch Prime Minister. Delta Police Commissioner presents 47.8 million naira to families of deceased officers. Oka Court War. Lawmaker laments killing of 34 youths in 3 weeks. Federal government, states, others sign accord for economic financial inclusion. FRSC to clamp down on trucks conveying loads and passengers together in Edo. Nigeria will one day come out of hardship. Kumui. Cultism, drug abuse eradication requires government, society, parents' collaboration. Lagos Commissioner Okwama. Reps Committee receives 23 memoranda. Vows to resolve imbroglio. IBBN convener commends EFCC boss for stepping up fight against corruption. And that's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Airborne, the 103.5 FM. We'll now flip over to our WhatsApp portal for reactions. On our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. This one is coming from Ebuka Joshua Dawson, and he's joining us from 33. And he says, kudos to our MPF as they nab 3 suspected bandits supplying arms to terrorists in Niger, Zamfara, Katsina. They should keep up the good work. And he says, UK supports Nigeria's fight against malaria with £1 billion. It's a welcome development. Hope the money will be utilized well rather than sharing. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. You have this message. It's coming from Agwacha, White Lion of Africa, and he says, Wike should now allow Governor Fubara to govern Rivers State in peace. I said it before that former Governor Yahaya Bello should submit himself to EFCC trial. He won't run forever. Bandits, kidnappers, sacked communities in Niger State. What a nation. And he says, RIP to Senator Ayogu Eze. We sympathize with Enugu State government. Jailbreak is becoming alarming in Nigeria on a daily basis. The government should reform the correctional centers. And he says Bishop Kuka, a true Nigerian and outspoken clergy. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Agwacha, White Lion of Africa. We have this message. It's coming from Paulie Muizu from Onitsha. And he says, Fubara and his commissioners, you can resign and another person will be replaced. It's the handwork of Godfather in everywhere. So let them go to give peace a chance. Paulie Muizu from Onitsha. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Still on our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message is coming from Comrade Ibudu from Abagana, and he said, somebody told me dollar will still overthrew Naira, but I refuse to listen. We were thinking Naira is coming up, but considering today's update, it means the man was right. However, we are pleading with the necessary body to keep their heads up. May the senator that died rest in peace. May those some of them have no good intention on the masses, but still we pray for them to live long. They might wake up one day and realize that we are mistaken and take correction. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. This one is coming from Agonabo. He's joining us from Ofa Aglusibo. And he says MFL's trials saga continues holding him and the Mazen and the Kanu is evidence that the federal government of Nigeria don't have anything against them and let the international community intervene and save Nigerians from the quagmire and the Boko Haram terrorist saga. Troops in Nigeria are not gallant enough to combat. Okay, they need to be retrained to retrain them to encounter terrorist professionalism and not unintelligently and then making noise on civilians in Okwama community and can display their power to terrorists. We are watching as things unfold. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Valentine Edene from Umpo. And it says, unknown gunmen, which may be Fulani herdsmen or Boko Haram, ambush army at Okwama, killed bakery dozens, which triggered off setting fire on houses ablaze by army without proper investigation. Now, so-called Boko Haram sacked military base in Niger State, which casualty must be involved. But army don't did nothing to that community. They did to Ukuama. Rest in peace, Senator Ayogu Eze. Valentine Edene from Mbo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Still on our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message is coming from Honorable Obasi, aka Authority is More Than Power, and he says the issue of EFCC economic financial crime trying to stop Naira abuse is a welcome development, but let them enforce the law according to the ethics of the law, not arresting people for the intents of bribe corruption. And he says also federal government telling the citizens of Nigeria that federal government recover over the sum of 505 billion naira is like Chinese play and window dressing because former money recovered by federal government has not gotten better accountability. And I am also so sorry for those jubilating that dollar is coming down. What is the guarantee from the federal government that the dollar will not rise up again as dollar is coming down? Please, Nigerians wake up. And at the same time, Mr. President have failed in all his promises over four pump price in Nigeria by building a new refinery and renovating Port Harcourt refinery. And what the federal government, what are they doing to the damaged and vandalized local refinery instead of using their common sense by calling those that own the local refinery for sensitization and legislation standard? Why the promise from the Mr. President supposed to be a quick response to that fuel pump price issue, and that is one of the things that could have made the citizens to know that dollar is coming down. So sorry for this country. And he says, because instead of Mr. President taking us to a higher level and better Nigeria, Nigeria is turning to a banana republic, which things goes for nothing. May God help Nigerians from all these calamities. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Still on our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. It's coming from Kenneth Ndubiso Kappa from Umweze Umunachi, and he says, I know the proposed minimum wage is not feasible on 1st May because Nigerian leaders have not the welfare of workers in mind. That's what escalated Japa syndrome. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Kenneth Ndubiso Okafor from Umweze Umunachi. From our WhatsApp portal, we'll flip over to our Facebook portal. We have this message. It's coming from Joshua Dawson, and he says, "Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us this morning." We also have this one coming from Chumuba Ume, and he says, 2023 polls saga continuous remembering masses about the poll is okay. Reminding masses about the poll is a lingering wound to May, and reflection as a selection and not election. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Well, this is the spot where we'll call it a day on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebona Day 103.5 FM. Remember, it comes your way weekdays in the morning. Once is 7 o'clock. So keep a date and don't touch the dial of Ebona Day 103.5 FM. Once it's 8:20 this morning, we'll be back with Birthday Splash. Till we meet again, have a wonderful day.
Can we talk about the challenges we are having on our community, our General Street Report. If we do not address these challenges on Airborne and the FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be. Our government, whatever. Street Report is here to make sense of it all. Street Report is causing social change across your streets. In your community. Street Report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifanyu, as number the first every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Epona 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds in your face. On Emas Nebona the corner 24/7, 24/7. Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Ebonade 103.5 FM. It's Martin Ipan Shukumi is here every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebonade 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a date.
And say no more. Ever nation in about people, no Anambra State in a one of the local Jabana residency hotels, Leofino, Gidi, one night in the mature no more with the Manzo, one night, if the Made, one night, if you're but on a room, I will go you. Where you see luxuriously furnished rooms and suites at the moment, one neighbor in their kitchen. Whenever they see Danny, when you can see if it is safe, even one of their outdoor arena where you can even have all types of events from wedding down to birthday party, and then for a very, very clean swimming pool of one residency hotels, you feel giving ordinary a very serene and secured environment.
at kilometer 13, Old Onitsha Enugu Express Road. You can also call them for reservation on 081 40 933 512. Residency Hotels, the Okino Kidi. If I can ever not, one more. Say no more. Ọ dịrị ezinụlọ na ụmụaka maka ịmata ihe gbasara
Check this out. It's on Amazon.com. Hip Hop and Igbo Culture by yours faithfully, Martin Evans. Alright?